A clean blunt is a normal blunt except that you don't use your paddle to make the boat rotate around you. So to do a clean blunt, you're going to start with all the same techniques as a normal blunt, except we are going to accentuate some parts to counteract for the fact that we're not using a stroke to make the rotation happen. So we're going to get to the top of the wave. As you're coming down, you're going to edge even harder than normal and use a bigger acceleration stroke to make the boat begin to rotate a little back more into the middle. With a harder edge and leaning more forward than normal, you're going to be able to make that thing start to pivot off of the stern, and then as you wind the boat up, you're going to think about reaching your paddle blade upstream, not only to get that blade to keep it out of the water, but also to pivot your hips and make the boat come around so that you don't just land on your face. Then as the boat lands, you need to get back forward again so that the boat doesn't just auger in there and it pulls it back under you and you land flat on your hull. You're going to land with a recovery backstroke on the same side you would with a normal blunt. So to learn the clean blunt, you want to practice the same motions you would for a normal blunt in the flat water as often as possible. You want to really focus on that acceleration stroke, more edge than normal, and getting your body weight to pivot the boat around while your eyes stay looking upstream at all times, and you throw your weight and push your feet under you and see if you can get the boat to come all the way around to backwards in the flat water. Another thing that will really help with this trick is mastering the lean clean in the flat water, which will help you get your weight from one edge and end of the boat onto the other. The clean blunt is going to feel almost exactly like doing a lean clean when you start on the stern and then slam the bow down. The edging and weight will be almost identical. So with a clean blunt, if you find that you're falling on your head all the time, there's a couple things that might be going wrong. Number one, you might not be dropping enough outside edge, or you might not be using a big enough acceleration stroke to actually turn the boat into the middle. In other words, the bow may be staying pointed to the outside of the direction that you're going, so that your bow never really gets pushed by the water back under you at all and you just fall over. Another thing that you might be doing is you may simply be standing up way too early and leaning back as you sort of crash and flying squirrel technique into the oncoming water. Another thing that may be happening, if you're staying forward as you wheel the bow up, you may never actually get the boat to take off and it may not come around at all. It's way better with this trick to make yourself learn by falling on your face than it is to make yourself try to learn this by putting a paddle stroke in on the inside and then pulling it out. That's a very hard habit to break. If you find that you're having trouble finishing this move backwards and flat on your hull, in other words, you just fall over halfway through or you just can't seem to put it down, focus on the fact that once you've pushed your bow under you, you need to crunch your knees back up to your chest and sit up hard. And what that does is that's going to flatten the boat out and make it so that the thing will land flat. So the clean blunt. Come down the wave with a strong counter lean and outside edge, big acceleration stroke. Then wheel the boat up and throw your feet down under you while you focus on looking upstream and reaching your paddle upstream. To set the boat down, pull your knees back to your chest and finish with a big recovery backstroke.